everybody.
Yeah, it's all game stuff.
All right, hey, I'm Dylan. It's like Dylan, but not. So I got an Alexa a couple months ago, and I was like, this is pretty cool, but there's a lot of stuff that it can't do, like control anything that requires IR. So like your audio receiver, your TV, your my AC condition, my AC. So I was like, okay, what's out there? And I started looking.
First off, you have an IRAC, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah. Is that weird? My air conditioner has an infrared remote that controls it. That one looks like it probably does too. I don't know. I think it's common for like older window units. Yeah. I don't have central air. Sorry, Sammy. I don't have central air. Okay. So I started looking around, and I found this project who did a lot of cool heavy lifting for me. So this guy created this. Basically uses this ESP8266, and it has has a local web server, and you can send it commands, and then it will send those IR commands to your devices. But I don't really want to have that sitting around in my house. I wanted to have something that was like a tighter form factor. So I made this guy. You guys can pass that around if you want. And actually, when I was thinking about how to do it, I texted Sammy and I was like, hey, what should I do? I was like, I need all of these things. And he was like, well, of course I have all of those things and all the tools you need in my house. I was like, okay, cool. So the big thing was, let's see. So this is the design in Eagle. So basically took that guy's design and then had to put it all on one layer because I was using a mill, and so it's just copper on plastic, and you have to like play around with where all the components are until that works. I use this CNC mill, the other mill, and then that's the finished product, which you can see being passed around. And yeah, I have a demo. Let's see if that works.
You mentioned Alexa, so does this talk?
Right, so yeah. So here's the process. Here's how this works. So I make a command like Alexa, trigger TV. Alexa is connected to IFTTT, which then, if this, then that. It's a website that you can, there are different services connected to it. So like you can have it send you a text message when you get a calendar invite or something like that. And Alexa is connected to it, and web requests are connected to it. So the way this works is it then sends a web request with webhooks. I have a port forwarded on my IP, and that's sent to the ESP8266, which is listening on that port, and that sends the IR signal to whatever device I want to control. So I had to make an IFTTT command for each thing. So like turn on TV, that's one command. Turn on, so here's a list of all of the
voice, Alexa,
actions.
internet,
Mhm.
back to house through router.
Right.
The thing that's going
Yeah.
there.
It's a long arc, yeah.
So can I add your Alexa and turn on your TV in the middle of the night while I turn off your AC?
Yeah.
Now that you showed us the IP address.
Right. That'll work. Yeah. If you want to send some requests. What's that? Yeah, but it's a lot better than I would expect. Like it's not so long that I'm like annoyed. It's not.
There's a library that for on and off for Alexa, it'll just mimic a Wemo switch, so you don't have to actually go through it. So that would be
Great. Okay. I'm gonna ask you more about that later.
They also pronounce it if.
Okay.
They do?
They do.
Yeah. But they rebranded as if, so you don't even get to say the T's now.
Just in case you find that easier.
So yeah, here it is working. I think I say trigger TV. Alexa, trigger TV. So that's really fast, I think. Between when the Alexa turned on and you see the light on the device, that was like instant.
It'll take longer to find your remote. Or lean forward. Also,
Yeah.
your TV to boot up.
Just to be,
Yeah,
So am I seeing a bunch of infrared tentacles pointing at different devices?
that's the idea. As far as improvements, I think one of the improvements is figuring out how to increase power or just extending these cables or having multiple devices. Any one of those would work, I think. Yeah, my TV takes forever to turn on. And then I have this one. Yeah. So I say trigger clean.
So without using our IP address, can someone add an Alexa thing?
Yeah, how do you get from Alexa to if?
So IFT has its own, I don't know I forget what it's called, application. And
It interacts with Alexa?
yeah, that interacts with Alexa. So you don't have to figure that part out, but what sucks is you have to say trigger. You have to say Alexa trigger X. So you can't say like Alexa winter is coming. You have to, unless you make your own, you can make your own Lambda and then. So the way I think a lot of Alexa apps work is that you make a Lambda on Amazon Web Services, and you set what you want your trigger words to be, and all of the associated actions and everything.
It's really, I went through all of this recently. With Google and Alexa just to figure out the best routes. What you're talking about there is a fucking hellhole, and you shouldn't pursue that. It sounds like fun, but Google will let you say anything you want. Like you can say, Google, fuck you, and turn on your lights.
That's how we figured it out.
All right, well this isn't loading, so.
When you say Google arm the thermonuclear warheads?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, but here's another thing. So you can have it set up so that it's a string of commands. So this is my trigger Netflix, because it takes like 5 button presses on my TV to get to Netflix. So this is one where maybe I'll make up the time, like if I do this for the rest of my life. So it's like press the smart button, and then like you have to go up to the Netflix, and then click enter, and then Netflix loads for 20 seconds, and then you click enter again, and then it like shows you your profiles, and you click enter again, and then you're in Netflix.
I like it.
So did it memorize? You do the actions once and it can record them?
No. So what you have it looks like this. So this is where everything's hosted. Yeah, you can press all the buttons, and this. Yes, and they'll show up here as codes received, and then you have to make that like URL.
Oh, so you do have a receiver on it then?
Yeah, there's a receiver on there.
Yes.
So you can read what signals are required.
Right.
Have you been setting in macros yet, like trigger sexy time and it turns on the electric fireplace?
Maybe.
You have to say trigger, Alexa trigger.
Yeah. So I think this is the relevant XKCD where like it's not worth the automation time, but I learned a lot. So.
Nice.
Face recognition.
Have you heard of NGRock? No. So rather than like figuring out what your router's IP address is and then port forwarding and all this shit, there's a service that this guy made that you can run on your computer that basically it gives you like a very basic URL, like subdomain.ngrock.com that you can hit, that it will hit your whatever computer you're running the application on. So you can run the application from any computer, any server, like on Amazon AWS or whatever the fuck you want, and it will get there instead of you having to figure out what that IP address is. So it's more secure.
Okay. And Alan, who is in Glock, is a Spec.SF member, so he's on the Spec Slack. I hit him up.
Cool. Another question for him about it.
What's the name of it again?
And, yeah, continuing the Silicon Valley world of confusing pronunciations.
Yeah, but wrong.
Run Give it up for Dylan.